welcome to CNBC-TV18.com presents Bharat Trailblazers in association with Salesforce, a series of conversations that shine the spotlight on remarkable organizations to showcase their inspirational journey. These are game changers and innovators that have leveraged technology to pivot to growth. And today, the focus is on the ever-expanding home finance space. Our focus today is on Aavas Financiers, a leader in this space. It is engaged in the business of providing housing loans to customers belonging to the low and middle income segments. On the show today, I am in conversation with Mr. Sachinder Bhinder, Managing Director and CEO of Aavas Financiers. So welcome to the show. It's great to have you here with us.
Thanks, Ruchira.
So tell me, you've been a pioneer in this space, and of course there's some huge trends that we've been seeing in this space because of various factors like the robust economy, affordability, and various other reasons. So could you take us through the broad trends in the affordable housing finance space?
Thanks, Ruchira. See, if you look at overall stack of India on a mortgage to GDP ratio, we are at around 10%. But if you remove the tier 1 towns and the major cities, it comes to 2.5%. From a perspective of affordable, unserved, underserved and unbanked, tier 3 to tier 5 really represents the Bharat and where the potential actually lies. And as we see that growing in the years, I think one of the major macro trends, as I say, is 2.5% of mortgage to GDP. That has a multi-decadal sectoral tailwind really to continue. I think 3-4 factors really contribute to that. One is the increased retail affluence, which is started in last couple of years, and that grows on. Third is government's impetus on infrastructure, the kind of livelihood opportunities which get created. I think these 3-4 factors really help us to project the kind of multi-decadal long runway which is available in the space which we are in. And as Aavas, which is one of the pioneers in that space, I think coming decades would be a long, good runway for us.
And as you said, of course, you're a pioneer in the space, and this market has been growing at a phenomenal rate. So Aavas Financiers is currently in 13 states with a total of 351 branches. So could you take us through your company's journey till now? How has it really been?
Aavas started from Rajasthan and Jaipur, and that's where we started from our journey. And as we started, we had a contiguous geographic expansion. So in and around the states of what we were present, we started expanding. So we were there in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, surrounding Delhi. And as when we settled down on those states, we started further expanding to the nearby states. So as we talk, we are in 13 states and we have 350 branches. And the latest additions has been in the southern India, which is Karnataka and certain part of Odisha.
All right. So if you could tell us, you work closely with customers who might lack, documents like IT return slips or other documents that are needed, and thus are often excluded by the larger banks or larger organizations. And you are catering to them to make it more, accessible, make home loans more accessible to them. So how have you created a methodology to assess those customers individually while, facing the constraints that you have to face since they do not have the supporting documents?
I think, Ruchira, there are two things which really come across that. As I stated that we are in unserved, underserved, unbanked. I think these are credit-worthy customers, but we do not have the formal documentation which will really be bankable type, or the customers which would be able to service their demands or their loans from the banks. So it goes across into a very high-touch kind of a model which goes across identifying and assessing what are their cash flows. So I think in the journey of last 11 years, having underwritten 4 lakh plus of customers, we have come across to a stage, and doing that in a self-employed, non-professional segments, right from a grocery shop to a kirana shop, to a barber shop, to a plumber, to a contractor, to a various other streams. We go across and identify what are the kind of income streams which they get across and populate that and give an assessment of what is the kind of incomes they draw. Based on incomes, we really go across finding out what is the kind of loan serviceability that can avail. So if the requirement of the loan is for the building a house, then we have a home loan. If it is for a personal consumption, then it is a loan against property. If he is wanting that for the working capital for his micro MSME, which is a micro small enterprise, then we go across giving him a micro MSME loans.
Moving on, as a housing company catering to the underserved and undeserved markets, you're deeply invested in technology. So could you tell us what were your initial goals when you began your digital transformation journey?
I think two parts which are very important in our journey. As you scale up and you become a pan-India organization, I think it is important that you do it with sustainability, with reliability and with creditworthiness. And what you want to do is the same thing which you did at one location versus the other. So in that, technology plays a very critical role, an important role really to facilitate in that journey. Okay. So that is the time when we embarked upon this tech transformation journey. So when you really look at the customer, how do you really source the customer in a faster time, in a more predictable time, and how do you really put across in a way that you are more faster in giving him what he wants actually in a much better decisioning time, the turnaround times which we talked about. So in that journey, we partnered with Salesforce and Deloitte was our implementation partner. So we worked out on the loan origination system, which is the state of art. Why do we pick up? Because it's scalable, it is reliable, it has that kind of bandwidth which we see that at a scale which we want to do, it has that kind of nuances which will help us to really steer that journey. So in that journey, it helps to really navigate much more faster, be agile, and much more on the turnaround times actually, so to say.
Definitely. So you were speaking about loan origination and credit decisioning process. So could you tell us the key benefits of leveraging technology for these two? And if you have any other milestone achievements in this regard that you would like to share with our viewers?
So as we speak, Ruchira, we have with the Salesforce, we've crossed 1,40,000 worth of customers, gone through the process, having sanctioned about 5,000 crores worth of loans. I think it gives us a lot of confidence saying that the system is robust, system is able to scale. What it helps us in three parts. One is the quicker turnaround times. As we speak, our decision making time from login to sanction, when the customer gives in the file to the time I'm able to decision as Aavas is reduced by 50%. So that's a big decision time. And as we embark on the journey and where the monetization of LOS will really kick in, is our commitment to going green, going paperless in our digital journey. So all those which are formal documentation or certain documents which are required as a part of the loan documentation process, that is not required in the going future. So that will reduce our paper usage. It would be seamless. It would be, our perspective is that if I have a customer whose property is clear, who is there, having the state of art technology and using that, am I on a cup of coffee able to offer him by the time we complete the coffee, the funds are there in his account. So that is the final vision that we really want to in the segments which we serve.
So the modern day customer, of course, is like, very demanding and approaches services through an omni-channel model. So how do you ensure that you are leveraging technology to enhance the end user's experience? How are you really doing that?
So as we speak, we have of the 2 lakh plus kind of customers which we have on board, we have 90,000 of the customers using our customer app. So I think what has happened interestingly in India post-COVID, Bharat is more digitally literate compared to what we see. So the adaptability and understanding of technology is far better than what we really think. So we are now experimenting with multilingual chatbots. How do you really address the customer needs when he comes on to, we service all the requirements online on the customer service side. We already are in that fray which is there. And since we are there in self-construction individual homes, we are doing their part disbursements, which is subsequent disbursements also online. The customer goes to his house, puts across, takes a picture of his property, that is triangulated with the latitude, longitude, he puts in a request and that it flows seamlessly. Right. So the kind of digital infrastructure and aided with the kind of technology which we started using it and the customer awareness and his understanding of technology is really helping us tread that journey in a long period of time.
Moving on, how can artificial intelligence really improve credit scoring?
So I think artificial intelligence is based on what we've been doing in three formats. One is predictive, second is prescriptive, and third is descriptive. So I think it actually, since we have underwritten 4 lakh plus of customer base, we have the database, we have the customer behavior, we have the property behavior, we have the geographical. Once you run the models and you have the machine learning, which really helps us to predict what is the customer behavior. So it is used from a part of sourcing, saying that is it what is the customer go no go kind of a customer based on whatever references we taken. Secondly, if that is the customer, what is the kind of pricing which I should give on a risk adjusted return kind of pricing, right? And thirdly, from a perspective of customer serviceability, what is that the customer would need in his journey? And thirdly is when the time comes across for his repayments, what is the kind of approach he will take when it comes to the. So I think we have a lot of use cases which we have developed, and as we go forward after the implementation of Salesforce, which happens and the phase 2 goes live, we will have generative AI, which will really work across and help us in that long range journey. So as a company, as an institution which is focused on the segments which is unserved, underserved and unbanked, we want to use technology as one of the fulcrum to help customer ease of service, predictability, consistency, and for our own employees and our stakeholders to be much more predictable.
So we were speaking about digital transformation. So how important has Salesforce been for your digital transformation, and what are their contributions as a digital transformation partner?
So I think as you see, when you scale up, I think what you need technology for is the reliability, the scalability and the trustworthiness of what you do. I think in that journey of loan origination system, Salesforce actually it's a world class global, and having had the use cases even in the Indian environment, it actually gives us that confidence that we will be able to steer that in our journey of scaling across as we move across our increased customer base, increased AUM and increased SOH actually, so to say.
So one last question before I let you go. Key takeaways from your journey that you would like to share with others who are inspiring to be like you?
I think it's very important to tread the road which you have decided with the guardrails which are strong enough, using technology which will help facilitate and take advantage of digital public infrastructure, the Digital India drive, to monetize in the segments where you really want to tread. I think technology is an important parameter, it is an important facilitator in the journey of businesses, and as the new age technologies come in, I think it's important to be adaptable, to agile, again with the risks which are in our segments to be very well articulated and to be controlled by technology.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your milestones of this inspiring journey and your valuable insights. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Ruchira. It's a pleasure interacting with you.
Thank you.